Hello, you are listening to What the FFF, an amazing show inspired by our even more amazing FabFitFun community, where we chat with founders, our team, and other really exciting guests about all things beauty, fashion, fitness, wellness, and more. I am Katie, the co-founder and editor-in-chief of FabFitFun, and today I am talking with Rosie Jane, and I could not be more excited. Hi, Rosie.
Hi.
How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here.
We are excited to have you as well. Obviously, we have this amazing guest joining us. Not only are you an inspirational entrepreneur who founded one of my all-time favorite clean beauty and fragrance lines, but you are also a mother of three. You are the, I have to look at this, CEO, COO, CFO, CMO, creative director, account manager, product developer of Rosie Jane. That is very impressive.
Wow. I know. It feels ridiculous. And I remember writing it on like my bio when you have to do like Instagram, like, what do you do? And I was like, I always feel like Dick Van Dyke in Mary Poppins when he's walking across and he's got the cymbals on his head and he's got the drum on his back. I was like, I do it all.
But it's so true when you're an entrepreneur. This is certainly not a new company by any means.
Yeah.
But I do think as a leader, you end up wearing so many hats. And it's a testament to caring and having passion and running your business really well.
Yeah. And I think particularly that sort of bootstrap way, right? And also I think when I started by Rosie Jane, which was 2010, I didn't know exactly where I was going. And so as we've kind of grown, I'm like, I'm sort of learning this. And then I realized that the direction and the inspiration of the brand is so much based in who I am that it would be hard, I always think, for someone to come in and be like, great, I can just run with this.
Yes. Yeah. No, it's you. It feels authentically you.
Good. But I have to also probably release those reins a little bit, but it's hard.
It's a balance.
Oh my God.
It's a balance. We're all learning it, by the way, continuously. So we're going to start out, we're going to do a few rapid fire questions. Okay. You're going to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. So you are formerly from Australia.
Yes.
Love the accent.
Thank you.
So if you had someone come to visit you from Australia, what are the 3 places in Los Angeles that you would take them?
Tough
I know
question.
that's hard.
Yeah. That's really hard. I could take them to an amazing restaurant first, right?
Do you have a favorite?
I do.
Okay.
It's Hippo in Highland Park.
Oh, I haven't been there yet.
It's phenomenal. It's Italian food.
Okay, amazing.
But it's a staple.
I'm putting it on my list.
You said hippo, like the animal?
Yeah, Hippo.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing, by the way. It's really...
Highland Park is all of the great spots. I do not make it out there enough because it's a little far from where I live, but it's good to get out of your bubble because that happens in LA.
And what I love about it is it's like where everything is sort of like starting, right?
Yes.
So you get all of these new experiences. But Hippo would be my first one. I'd have to either do the Greek or the Hollywood Bowl, right? Have to go. Greek is probably my number one favorite place.
I love the Greek. I think it's such a good venue to see a performance. I have 2 little kids, so I was there last seeing Olivia Rodrigo, but she killed it. She was so good.
Okay, so we tried to get tickets and we couldn't. I was like, oh my gosh.
My kids are not going to college because I spent all their future tuition on concert tickets, but it's worth it, maybe. I don't know. We'll see if it's worth it or not.
And then probably third would be like an amazing hike, like probably the Griffith Park hike, just because it's so stock standard.
Yes.
And in Australia, we have such incredible beaches that I'm always like, dude, the LA beaches, they're cool, but nothing compared to Australia.
No, nothing compared.
Yeah,
So
don't
I'm like, but the hiking and that mountain aspect of LA, we just don't have that in Australia.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I was lucky to live in Australia for a year. We were very touristy. We lived in Bondi, but it was one of the best years of my life.
Yeah.
And yes, by far one of the most beautiful beaches in the world.
It is. And I grew up in Paddington, which is right near Bondi.
Yeah.
My first apartment was in North Bondi. And I loved it. It's like a walk, you walk everywhere, great bars, great food, and then the beach. Every day.
Good.
My husband is from San Francisco, and every day he's like, I don't know why I don't live in Australia. I married an Aussie.
Yes.
And I'm still bloody here.
I feel we could use a FabFitFun I office. I think.
Yes.
What do you think?
Yes.
I think we're going to
Volunteer
put
to
it
go.
into the universe.
You guys don't do FabFitFun in Australia?
We don't. We do Canada and the UK. Australia is a little trickier trickier for us because the boxes tend to be somewhat seasonal.
Okay.
And so flipping that around is a little tough,
True.
but we would love to figure it out one day because
Oh
I
my
think,
gosh.
but also I think there's such synergy between California and Australia. For me personally, they're just
sure.
100%.
Yes.
Sydney and LA to me are so similar.
I agree. And then
People are
Melbourne
similar.
and San Francisco to me
Yes.
also. I feel like it has all the
Yeah.
little parts of California.
It does. It's what, Australia has the same land mass size as the United States, which is so insane, right? And then it only has 10% of the population.
Oh, that's crazy.
So America is, I think, almost 330 million. Australia is 28 million, so less than 10%.
That's
same
so
land
wild.
mass, but same diversity, right?
Yes.
You have everything. You have the beaches, you have the mountains, you have skiing, you have the desert, and that's what's so incredible about it.
I
But
love
it is
it.
a million miles away.
All right, well, we'll go. We're going to take at least a work vacation.
Yes.
Everyone's going.
Yes.
What is the one thing you miss most about Australia?
I mean, my family, of course, but coffee.
Ooh,
The
better
coffee
coffee.
is spectacular, and that cafe culture in Australia,
Yes.
is just everywhere you go. You can just walk into a little cafe and you sit down and you're like, oh, can I have bacon and eggs or anything? And the food is amazing.
Yes, it's
So,
really
yeah.
good food. What was your first job?
McDonald's.
Stop.
Let's go.
I
What were
worked
you
at
doing?
McDonald's. Oh, I was a terrible McDonald's employee. I was. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I would get stoned and go and work at McDonald's.
I mean, I don't know how
as
you're
you
going to do it
should.
otherwise.
No, I know, right? But it was awful. But I never was senior enough to even be on like cash register or food. I was really just wiping the tables.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yes.
What do you think is your most underrated product?
I mean, I'm going to say probably what we're about to experience, which is our body line and the body milk. This is newer for us. Everyone knows us for perfume.
Fair. I'm obsessed with it, by the way.
Okay,
so I'm
good.
so excited to
Yay.
talk about it. And this is a fun one. Can you confirm that you were once a makeup artist for Kylie Minogue?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Just one time.
That's
the lovely
amazing.
one time.
What
I feel like
amazing
I just brushed past her. But yes, I was working in London. I was working in a video store, which don't even exist anymore.
Right.
And a photographer came in and he was like talking to the person he was with about, oh, they're going to do this photo shoot and they need a makeup artist, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm a makeup artist.
Stop.
And then I ended up doing test shoots with him for Storm Modeling Agency. So we would shoot all the new faces and all the rest of
Yes.
it. And then he was doing a photo shoot with Kylie Minogue, and I was lucky enough to be scooped up in that.
I love that. I love that you raised your hand while you were working in a video store to tell him that you were a makeup artist. That is amazing.
That was the sort of the beauty, I feel like, of what is that? That's like the 90s, right?
Yes.
So it was like late 80s, early 90s, is that was the only way.
Yes.
There was no other way to get to these people,
Right,
right?
you had to. But that's what's wonderful. I do feel like that gives you sort of like that sort of grit, determination, because
Yeah.
you had to have that hustle. Otherwise, you weren't
Yeah.
going to get that next step.
I wouldn't be able to find his email or his Instagram, or how could I reach out to him later? I was like, if I don't do it right now,
Now or never.
It's never happening. So that's how it
Oh my
happened.
gosh. I love that.
But just once, I was like, I was lucky enough, but I wouldn't say I was her.
You know what? Once is all you need. That counts. So what inspired you to start Rosie Jane?
So, I think unknowingly at the time, right? I mean, I was a makeup artist. I had created my own fragrance that I wanted to be my signature calling card. That's really how this all started. I wanted people to be like, oh, I want you to book me that makeup artist that smells like, something amazing. But, you realize that in that process, I'm so close to people. I'm in their personal space. So the fragrance that I was creating had to be this kind of understated. It had to be soft. It couldn't be too overbearing. All of these things now, when I look back, I'm like, oh, okay, that's why it smelled that way.
Yes.
But I realized at that moment, sort of long story short, I was handing out this product. People were like, can you make it for me? I love it. I had no idea what was in it. I really had just had my first daughter. Again, I was like wearing it. I was breastfeeding. She was like touching it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a little what goes in
research.
perfume.
Yeah.
And that sort of opened up this can of worms for me where I was like, I can't believe I can't find out any information about what's in this product. And how can I be wearing all of the ingredients that are supposedly in here? how can I make it better? That's literally, it was just one idea. I never thought, I'm going to build a brand around clean fragrance. And it just was this idea or this challenge, I guess, for me.
Well, you were solving a problem
Yeah.
with something that you truly loved, which
Yes.
is amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's the best reason that people can start something. This is a good one. Was there a moment early on when you were first starting where you thought, this is truly going to be successful? Kind of that moment where you know this was going to be your focus?
Yes. I mean, I think it didn't feel like as big as that, like that idea where I was like, okay, this is going to be everything. But I remember a girlfriend of mine owned a store on Larchmont Boulevard here in LA. And she was like, I love your perfume. It was called Layla Lou after my daughter. Can you hand fill some bottles for me? And I'm going to put them in the store. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I hand fill them. I had an old typewriter that I had from a garage sale. And I hand typed out, Layla was the name of it originally, by Rosie Jane. That was it, right? So filled by me. I put it in there, 10 bottles. They sold out in like a day.
Amazing.
Wow.
And I was like, shit, is this could be real. And then I sort of did that. And then I remember we did a pop-up or a trunk show at Henry Bendel. That doesn't even exist anymore, which is so insane to me. And I remember thinking there just is too many things that just keep popping in, like too many wonderful people that really know what they're looking at being like, you know what, this is a good product. I'm going to give you a shot. And thinking, you know what, okay, I never thought like I would have 7 fragrances and be the original clean fragrance brand. I wasn't thinking that far down the road. But yeah, I remember that when it sold out that quickly, I was like,
There's something there.
wow,
Yeah.
something's resonating.
That's amazing. When did you change the name?
To Layla Lou.
Yes.
So there was when I sort of started to get more serious with it and really put it into stores after that, there was another brand called Layla, the Spirit of Norway or something. I can't remember it's still around.
Okay.
And you know what it was? I remember sending the product to Fred Siegel and being like, hey, I have this beautiful fragrance, and they were like, there's another fragrance called Layla. And I was like, what? And I looked it up and it was the scent of Norway or something. I can't remember. And then that's when I changed it. So Lou is her middle name.
Love, yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'll make it Layla Lou.
So cute.
And that's how it stuck.
Amazing. Can you walk us through the process of how you develop new products? Obviously, you now have a beautiful line of many different fragrances and body products.
Yes.
I'm also getting so excited. But how do you make sure that, as you are adding new things to the line, they still align with your own brand ethos, your brand identity?
I think for me, I really create out of necessity or need, right? So, and it's not even necessarily to solve a problem, but it's more like, what do I want? What am I what do I need right now? What do I feel like? And I think with every fragrance, I'm searching to either create an experience for myself, find a memory, like tap into something like inspired by, my mum's perfume or my grandma's perfume or my kids, like what they're smelling. All of these, it always comes from a direct emotion that I'm trying to create. With body, again, it came out of like the pandemic for me, right? We were all crowded in. I have 3 children, 2 dogs, my husband. We were renovating a house, so we were in a small like condo.
Yeah.
It was insane. And the only place like I felt like I could kind of get escape was in the shower, in the bathroom. And I was like, this is going to mark the beginning and end of my day, however I need it, right? We were all searching for this kind of rhythm.
Yes.
And that's when I came up with it. And of course I had beautiful fragrances, which I love. But for me, I wanted that different experience in the bathroom. I love perfume. I love, of course, everything that I make in like our bestsellers, Rosie, Layla Lou. But I wanted the bathroom thing to feel like more therapeutic and true, right? So I did these essential oil blends. They were called Wake the Fuck Up, Calm the Fuck Down, Chill the Fuck Out, right? Like that was my whole mentality. I was like, oh my God, everyone just leave me the fuck alone.
I get it.
Right? I need this like, and that's where it came from. It was routine and a desire to have this sort of mental like break.
Well, it's interesting also because I think for many of us, even post-pandemic, we don't have a lot of time to spend on ourselves.
Yeah.
So those moments
Yes.
where you are, taking a shower in the bathroom, they are forms of self-care. So the
Yeah.
ability to elevate them
Yes.
is what we all want and need.
That's it.
I mean,
It's
I
like
think
you're doing
yes.
it anyway. It's so take advantage. Instead of having to always carve out extra time for something special, the moments that you're already doing the
Yes.
stuff, make that the special.
Yeah, make it as good as you possibly
And that's
can.
it. I really was just like, and these scents. For me, it was about these essential oil kind of therapeutic moments.
I mean, you have the best fragrances, obviously.
Thank you.
You're so well known for them. I love them. And it's funny that you talk about how they were created because I can be very sensitive towards scents. And
Yeah.
it is that perfect, beautiful, but not overbearing kind of
Yeah.
smell that I love. And it's what you want to smell like.
I always say it's like the morning after fragrance, right?
Yes.
It's like, that's what I want. It's like when I pick up my jacket from like the day before or even a week before, right? And I smell it and I'm like, oh, that's right. I was wearing this fragrance.
Yes.
But I love the subtlety of it. I like that you have to be a little closer to smell it. One of my pet peeves is being in a space with somebody or in an elevator and being like, oh my God.
Wow,
Like
you
getting
took a
my
bath in that
eyes-
cologne
right,
this
and
morning.
my eyes are
Yes.
watering. Right? I'm like, I can't. So, and I think all my fragrances have that kind of dry down in the end, right? They all smell like a skin scent of some sort because it's what I love. And, I'm a very casual kind of person. So I think that they all have this sort of ease to them.
Yes, no, I love it. And wake the fuck up.
Yes.
I'm sorry, chill the fuck out.
Yes, either any. You could do it all.
I can do it all. But chill the fuck out is actually what is in our winter box. It is
Yes.
the body milk.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about the product and what makes it so special?
So, well, the fragrance itself is peppermint, cypress, and mandarin.
Yes.
Right. And all transparency, I'm 48 years old. I have already gone through menopause, which was going to hell and back. Right. So, I mean, it was, I think for every woman it's different. But when
But I think for most women, it fucking sucks. Yeah. I mean, it's
dude,
not a fun
like,
thing.
But coming out the other side is like, you're
Love.
like, oh my God, I'm free. But when I created Chill, it was sort of in this moment, I didn't really know what the hell was happening to my body. I didn't know what was going on. So I just wanted something that felt cooling and refreshing and just like I felt so exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
So I wanted something that felt like energizing, but also relaxing. And that's how I created Chill. I was wearing the essential oil by itself, right, all the
interesting.
time. And then I'd already had the body products. And that's when I created this amazing fragrance, put them in, and I showered in it. I used the lotion is my everything.
And it's so moisturizing. It feels great.
Body milk is so light. So I love to play tennis, right? I'm a diehard tennis player.
Nice.
And I always hate the fact that when I exercise, I can't have like showered with lotion really before or
too
after.
much.
You're so
Yeah.
hot still. And that's why I was like, this is like an astringent, it's like a serum, and it's like a moisturizer in one. Super lightweight.
Which I love because I do think the world has kind of shifted. We used to spend all of our money on our facial care routines. And I
Yes.
think the world has now come to understand that we would like all of those beautiful ingredients and serums
Yes.
for our body as well. which
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
mean, look how I see your beautiful legs out. I love to wear strapless tops,
Yes.
right? That I want to show the skin on my body.
Exactly.
And I'm constantly like prepping my
Yes,
face.
I know. We do the 10
Right?
step routine every day, but the rest of your body
Yes.
needs a little love as well.
I want it to glow. I want it to feel like smooth and look gorgeous all the time. And that's what. But mainly for this, I just love the lightweightness of it.
Yes, for sure.
That I don't sweat through it.
It's not sticky.
No, it's like a dream. And I just, probably because of that menopausal experience where I was like in hot flashes all the time.
By the way, I love that you're talking about that because I do feel like we're getting to a point where women finally feel comfortable just mentioning the fact that we go through menopause.
Yeah.
But it is, the more open that we can be, the more honest that we can be. I feel
Yeah.
like it makes the whole world better. It makes us all
Yes.
feel a little bit more safe, which I
It's
love.
also coming for every woman on the planet.
I know,
right?
unfortunately.
It really is. Like
Yes.
and everyone their experience is going to be different. But if you can find ways to alleviate it and roll through it,
Yes.
dude, it's always going to be better.
100%. So one of the things, we're actually on a panel together earlier last week.
Yes.
And we were talking about community. And so for FabFitFun,
Yes.
community is a huge big piece of who we are. Tell me a little bit about how you see community. Do you guys use the feedback to
so much.
You do. Tell me how.
So, I think one of the survivals and one of the successes of By Rosie Jane is this community that we have been able to build. We launched in 2010. We have got this strong foundation, loyal, wonderful customers who show up for us in so many ways. They're engaged, they're interested in everything that we're doing, and they give us real feedback. So even when we launched Missy, our fragrance last year, we tapped our community, right? Before it launched, we were like, hey, we want you to smell it. We want you to tell us what you think. So we put out an email to our community. We were like, we're going to send out 200, samples. Like 3,000 people signed up. We ended up sending it to everybody.
Oh, that's amazing.
Just a sample vial. And the response that we got back was just overwhelming. Just the love and the appreciation. Even if they weren't like, I love it, this is my favorite, or I don't love it. They just were so engaged. And for us, our community is everything.
We feel similarly. Not all the feedback that we get is that we are the best thing in the entire world. But it is amazing to get that real-time feedback because we do use it for our long-term strategy, and it's been incredibly valuable.
The FabFitFun community has been so wonderful for us even. They talk and say, I discovered you in FabFitFun. I love it. This is what I love about it. They're very honest. And I want, I want that feedback, because someone always telling you that they love you, love you, love you. You're like, how am I ever going to evolve?
Right, that's not real. Yeah. But I will say they do genuinely love By Rosie Jane. We have seen the excitement. We have seen the real enthusiasm. Yeah. It's always a joy to be able to bring back brands when we see them resonate with our members. So that is part of the fun.
I'm excited.
I will ask, this almost feels impossible at this point, but for someone who has not tried By Rosie Jane yet, how would you describe it to them?
Oh, gosh. I mean, for me, By Rosie Jane is like casual, everyday ease in beauty, right? I really strive for this simple, effortless approach to fragrance, body care, and something that just makes you feel good. That's how I would describe it. We're casual. We're the blue jeans and the white T-shirt of the fragrance industry.
I love that. But you know what? I feel like you have this sort of casual confidence yourself. So it sort of bleeds into the brand, which is amazing. And again, that authenticity, I think, is something that people truly pick up on and want and, understand. So kudos to you. We do love to celebrate the wins, but we also, like to embrace the challenges. Yes. It's what makes us stronger. Can you tell us a challenge maybe that you faced over the past years?
Oh, gosh. And I think we spoke about a little bit at the panel, right? Honestly, for me, every day really presents its own challenge, right? I think being an entrepreneur, owning a beauty brand, you're always faced with something new and different, right? Whether it's product development, team, packaging, the environment, sustainability. Like we really are trying to push really far down on this sustainability issue. So there hasn't been like some catastrophic kind of like, this was an unbelievable challenge that we had to come. I think for me, it's just always putting one foot in front of the other and being like, okay, you know what? This is what you're trying to do. Stay focused and keep going. I think just keeping our doors open for as long as we have had them is probably the challenge. Lots of no's. I think any entrepreneur, any brand founder would say the same, right? People are like, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
Oh my gosh, yes. For the past 15 years, I've heard that. So I get it, 100%. But the fact that you keep going, you pick yourself up, you learn from the challenges, those are things that I think make incredible founders.
And I think even sometimes with our body, right? So people naturally assume because we're a fragrance brand that all the body products that we bring out are going to smell like our fragrances, which is amazing. And I love that people love to experience them. But for me, this challenge is like been pushing this idea, you know what? I want this different experience. I want our customer, I want our community to understand and really kind of be invested in their own self-care. And through that with body, we're creating a different experience. I don't want my fragrance to just be in every product that surrounds your life.
Well, I think that's really interesting because I also think, one of the trends that we see sort of in the fragrance and body care world is this idea of layering,
Yeah.
so that it does become not just what you buy off the shelf, but sort of uniquely your own,
Yeah.
because it's the lotion that you're choosing,
Yeah.
or the milk that you're choosing, and then the fragrance on top of it.
Yes.
So I think that's always the fun part of how
Yeah.
you play with fragrance.
Exactly. And if you want to completely drench your life in one fragrance,
Great.
It's you're allowed to do it. It's your world. But I love creating these different experiences through fragrance in every part of our lives. So yeah.
Amazing. And you talked a little bit about sustainability.
Yes.
One, just love the sort of clean, chic packaging that you guys
Thank you.
always feature. You're also a clean brand. Can you talk
Yeah.
a little bit about what those values mean and why
Yeah.
they're so important?
Yeah, and I think, for me, clean, this word is very broad now, right? And, I think a lot of people get nervous of it. But for us, or for By Rosie Jane, it means just staying true to our ingredients, right? Allowing everyone to see what's in our product, whether it's fragrance, whether it's body, so that they have a choice, right? We're always going to remove the big scary ones that everyone knows. Phthalates, parabens, right? Like all of these things, sulfates. But I want the ingredients to feel as safe and natural as they possibly can, right? So I really want to challenge that standard all the time. Sustainability is part of our biggest sort of, it falls into that clean umbrella for me, right? Beauty industry is one of the biggest contributors to single-use plastic in the world. And I know plastic bags get the wrap and straws and all these things, but it's really beauty. And if I can help eliminate that and do something a little bit better, that's everything that I want to do.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. It's pushing us in the right direction. Okay. I know you mentioned you are a mom of 3, and I kind of know the answer, but do your kids play a role in the business at all?
I mean, they do. They do as inspiration.
Yes.
I mean, this is one honestly, as much as I love them, I'm trying to escape them, right? So it's like, I need that perfume, please. Can someone give me my chill the fuck out so I can be left alone for a minute? But they do, and I also see them now as, I have a 17-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 7-year-old. Yes. And I am like, Missy fragrance, which we brought out last year, was inspired so much by their youth and vitality and excitement, right? It was where joy resides. And I love watching them experiment with beauty, and they smell everything that I do. And they are brutally honest, right, as only children can be. But they do. I think my experience as a mom influences a lot of what I put out into the world. But yeah, my eldest daughter interned over the summer at By Rosie Jane.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I want them to be invested. Of course, in typical teenage fashion, they're like, no, I don't want to do anything in beauty. They want to do anything else but.
Sure.
But that'll come in waves. I feel like that's how I was as a kid, but then I would come back to wanting to do exactly what my parents did, then completely rebel against it.
Yeah.
But I think, it'll be fun to see how it influences them. And even in just ways that, for me personally, I see my 11-year-old already have this like entrepreneurial spirit deep inside of her.
Yes.
That I think only happened because she grew up at the office, right? And I don't know that she'll be an entrepreneur, but that's there. You can see that it's just waiting to come out. And all these
I always
different
think I would hate to be the boss of my children.
Oh my God.
If they're going, having seen me own my own business and then very strong-minded, all of the children, and then having to be a boss, I'd be like, no.
Yeah, no, thank you. No, somebody else. So can you tell us about any upcoming projects or developments that is on the horizon for By Rosie Jane?
I mean, so for 2025, I'm definitely working on a new fragrance. Oh, I'm so excited about this fragrance, but it's, it's always a challenge for me bringing out a new product, bringing out a new fragrance, because, I am so subjective and sometimes I'm too in it. But also body for us next year is a really big focus as we grow this line out. I love the everyday approach of it. It's something that just makes me, it's something that I'm so invested in. But lots of exciting things for 2025.
I love it. Well, members are obsessed with the brand. So when it's released, where you have to feature it.
I know. I'm so excited for the whole community to try not only chill, but of course, newness that we have coming for 2025.
Amazing. Well, this is amazing. I can't wait for members to check it out. Tell us what you're thinking. If you're going to pick it in your box, it's amazing. It is definitely going in my box this winter. I love it.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I feel, I love being here. You're so easy to talk to. So thank you.
Well,
and I'm
make it
excited for
easy.
everyone to try Chill Body Milk.
I know it's going to be the best. All right. Have a great day, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We would love to hear about other topics you want to hear about. So make sure to connect with us on social at FabFitFun. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.